Well, hello, how's everything? Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be a speaker at Elevate 2025. This is not my first time with Elevate, so I'm so proud to be in here. And today's session is titled From the Translator's Perspective, What 2025 Holds for the industry of translation and interpreting in the same time, talking about linguistics, talking about translation and interpreting at the same time. So let me first introduce myself as the presenter of this particular presentation. This is Mohammed Aimer. I'm a lecturer in translation studies, faculty of El Alson, Egyptian Russian University in Egypt. I'm also a lecturer in English linguistics and interpreting studies, credit our program CHP at Cairo University. I'm also a full chartered member of the Chartered Institute of Linguists, the CIOL of the United Kingdom. Finally, I'm a trainer of refuge and immigration interpreters at the International Organization for Migration, the IOM, and also a trainer of professional interpreters at Talal Abu Ghazala Global Tech Organization in Jordan. So, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. By the way, this is my contact, whether you want to contact me on Facebook or on WhatsApp. You can just scan this QR code and feel free to contact me anytime. So, to start with my presentation, I'd like to tell you that our dear translation industry is actually witnessing a very active and a robust technological revolution with the emergence of AI tools, terminology management, automation, workflow innovation, and growth of specialized translation. Actually, this not only applies to the year of 2025, but also it's a vision to what will happen or what I expect to happen in the forthcoming years. So it's not only limited to 2025, but also 2026 and 2027 at least. Because actually, this presentation forecasts and manifests the emerging trends that will happen in the forthcoming years. But I mainly focus on helping junior translators and also professional ones to survive in our upside down industry experiencing swift changes. The emergence of AI, the emergence of modern technologies in translation and in linguistics. So, this is just an attempt to give certain professional tips to junior and fresh translators, also to professional ones, for a quicker and even more robust and effective professional development path in the future as linguists. Okay, so it's not related to a certain language barrier. It's not about Arabic or English or something like that. It's actually you can apply this to your professional career wherever the language barrier that you are working in. So, if we talked in the beginning about how modern technology, how AI, how CAT tools, and also Kai tools, speaking about translation and interpreting at the same time, and how they manage it to revitalize our industry and also adding to caption generating, glossary building. They all have been amongst the primary advancements in our language service industry. So, as long as the market keeps advancing new technology, translators, interpreters, linguists, actually, we will all be asked to fulfill the gaps created by such rapid changes. Actually, there is a wide gap between the academic education that we receive in our institution and also the industry that we aspire to work in. So, this will give you an introduction to some capable language providers as the requirements of the 21st century scale, so it's not limited to a certain year. This presentation also discusses what this particular year holds for the translation and the interpreting industry to be in much deeper look, focusing also on major challenges, expected changes, forecasted scenarios of the future. It's also an attempt to draw a practical map to help how translators can hope how they can hone the new potential of the future. So, if we're talking about certain pillars or certain challenges that we have in our careers, we have certain challenges. First of all, yes, we have a problem with lack of utilizing technology because this will remain one of the most problematic challenges ever facing linguists. It has certain causes, including it's not limited to expansive causes, but also lack of awareness, rusty mentality amongst different reasons. Because actually, a lot of translators and interpreters and linguists in general, they are somehow lazy to think that, yeah, this will change your future. No, no, no. Let's only use the old school that have been profitable to us. So this challenge is risky because actually it threatens the continuity of the professional development itself to the core. Because now, if you're used to a certain school to follow in your job or in your industry, um, you're not into developing yourself, and that's why you'll stop developing yourself. You'll stop professional development. You'll stop opportunities to receive um, internships, scholarships, fellowships, and so on. So I'll put a plan to remedy such a lacking behind to all of us, including me, of course. Second challenge will be about lack of coping with the most recent professional developments and trends in the industry market. Actually, this will be a threatening challenge because actually, it's there is no linguist around us, including me, including us, should remain relaxing to his own current skills. Like, yes, I'm good in Arabic, I'm good in English, I'm good in French, I'm good in different languages. But actually, if you are just comfortable with the status quo without adding any further skills or potentials to your professional career, this will be threatening to your own existence as a future interpreter or a translator. So mainly, I'll draw a plan for futuristic opportunities that are available for linguists, translators, and interpreters. So these are the main two challenges that we face in our future as linguists. And now let's focus more on how the future will be like, the future of industry itself. So. Um, if you are a translator, if you are an interpreter, if you are a linguist, so actually this will be very important to you. Number one, you can work as a data linguist and a specialist. So a lot of opportunities that we receive on our email addresses, on our email, on our inboxes. Actually, you can see these opportunities, but you think like, how on earth I'm going to work on this? Because if you master annotation, if you're tackling AI, artificial intelligence systems, data, cleaning information, databases for companies and factories. These are widely needed, especially in the field of machine learning optimization. So, if you do not know anything about data linguistics and being specialized in data engineering, so you can take a course, you can take a training program, you can also have a mentor in your life to know how annotation can be done, how AI systems can be handled and tackled, data and databases and so on. Okay. Also, another optimization for the future, I think electronic sports localizers, and I really proud of being a member of the MENA region because actually I'm living here in Egypt. So, MENA region, especially Middle East and North Africa, we have a lot of specialists who localize gamified sports. I don't want to mention any names, but actually they check the quality of artificial intelligence generated localizations of universal games, especially sports, football, basketball, handball, but especially football because this is the most common sport in the Middle East or North Africa. So very important to know how to do that. Not we're not talking about only games that are related to sports, but also fighting games, war games, Warcraft, different games. So actually, all of these games need to be localized, but it's very important to know how. So this is one of the most promising professionals for professions for the future. Number three, related to our jobs as translators, but also includes a very educational side of it because we have professionals who adapt language according to various e-learning platforms, especially those designed for and yeah, for youngsters and young learners. They are capable of turning dull education into a funny and educative experience for all. Because actually, when you think about it, actually, our children, our kids, when they go to school, when they go to the nurseries, they need to learn certain languages. So, if these educational settings are gamified enough, this will be somehow entertaining and also educational in the same time. Um, Another thing which is very important is Kai tool. We all know about CAP tools, which is computer aided or assisted translation tools. But actually, in the Middle East and the North African region, we have a problem with using Kai tools, which means computer aided interpreting tools. Because actually, they are expensive. They are very expensive here. But actually, when you see us as translators and especially interpreters, we do not use them. We only depend on sitting in a booth, taking notes in consecutive interpreting. We don't even use caption generating. But when you look at the future of the interpreting job or the profession itself, you can find that those who optimize the use of computer-aided interpreting tools, I mean Kai tools, in ways that provide them with automated caption generation, professional voice recognition, glossary building. These are the main skills that we actually lag behind in. I do remember myself going to a certain a vacancy or a certain opportunity to be an interpreter, and then I'm not provided with the agenda, with information, or even the least and the minimum awareness of the interpretation around itself. But actually, this is not because of me, because actually the provider himself didn't provide anything about it. So if I had such information, I'd be able to generate certain glossaries, medical, engineering, whatever the major is, and also one of the most important tools to use in our interpreting industry, caption generating. So actually, you can imagine that you are sitting in a certain booth, and then there is a quick-paced speaker speaking coming from a certain country using a funny dialect or an accent that is difficult to you. But here comes the role of AI, because actually it generated the automated caption, and then you can listen to what's been said, and then you can read it on the screen. So actually, one of the main solutions that we lag behind in our industry. Another thing that I predict to happen in the future, blockchain. So because actually a lot of people don't think that it's time for us to focus more on the cryptocurrency. A lot of people think it's still forbidden. Yeah, in certain countries, in certain legal settings, it's still forbidden. But actually, I think this is the currency of the future. People will stop holding cars, will stop holding even material currencies. So it's our role as linguists in the future. Those who are specialized in cryptocurrency and tech-savvy projects have their own technical niche that enables them to foster their own sophisticated knowledge in using blockchain and developing databases and developing linguistic experience and so on. Um, one of the major fields that have been there for like several years, that's still developing and will ever be developing in the future, content creation. Yeah, content creation. This is one of the best fields that have been thriving throughout the last few years. Linguists who combine translation and creative writing in the same time will surely found themselves in the future, and they will be able to create blogs, advertisements, social media content that achieve a high reach and traffic that is tailored to language service providers. Uh, when you tailor your own products to certain service providers, companies, restaurants, hotels, touristic settings, touristic places. Actually, this is one of the most promising fields in our industry, content creation. And I actually found myself guilty of lagging behind in this particular one because actually I'm already a literary translator. I translated a lot of novels from English into Arabic, and when I see myself like, yeah, you can do literary translation, but what about literary writing? What about writing? What about fabricating? What about creating a certain content? So actually, this is very important to all of us, especially those are specialized in literary translating like me. So maybe in the future, maybe in the near future, I find myself taking a course or taking a program or being even using or getting the advocacy or help of a certain consultant concerning content creation because it's one of the most promising careers in the future. Another one, yeah, using AI. I'm a university professor, as I told you before. I'm a lecturer at the university, and I'm teaching translation and interpreting at the same time. When I see my students using AI, using artificial intelligence in translating, actually, it's not saddening. It's not saddening because actually, I want them to depend on their own human translation. But actually, when I find them capable of using artificial intelligence to find better translations, to find better alternatives for vocabs and words, actually, this pleases me. Yeah, it's very important. Um, those who combine between their own human translation and Cato's translation and also AI translation, they are actually capable of comparing between different versions of translation from one language to another. So this will enrich their own experience with AI. This will enrich their own experience with the translation and the interpreting itself. So if you're not using artificial intelligence in your translation and the interpreting career, this is a big loss and you're wasting time because you can just save time and effort in a certain page that you can consume like 1 hour in translating, but actually you can just use AI in doing it. But actually, you need to put your human touch in the end. But actually, this should happen to only professional translators. If you are just an major or a novice interpreter or a translator in your first days, in your early days in the field, so actually it's much better to depend on the human translation in the beginning, but and then you can refer to or get the help from AI. But only in the future, only AI savvy translators and interpreters will find their places in the future of the industry. Another major leap in our industry, cultural adaptation. Yeah, this is also related to literary translation because actually literary translation transfers one culture from one language to another. So those who are capable of localizing content by adapting cultural changes, idioms, expressions, discourses, speeches. From one language to another, they will have their own widely different audiences in the future. We're talking about speeches of different leaders of countries around the world. We're talking about different audiences or working with hotels, factories, companies, touristic companies as well. So when you adapt or when you do the culturalization, something that's called culturalization in our industry, when you do this, when you are capable of tailoring the cultural side of your own speech, the use of terminology, words, and verbatim to a certain audience, when you can do this, actually, this will help you better localize the language that you're using. I think this is one of the finest one. Yeah, and this is one of the most modern one. Eco translators and the interpreters. Yes, it's related to ecology. We all believe in sustainable development goals adopted by the United Nations. So, talking about linguists who are mainly translating and interpreting ecological topics, SDGs related subjects like environment, agriculture, um, agriculture engineering, they will find a room, a very spacious room in the future among us to green economy, climate change, sustainability policies topics related to the United Nations. I think this is one of the most promising fields because actually now We're getting closer. We're heading forward to 2020, 2030. And by the end of 2029, there will be another setting by the United Nations concerning adopting another agenda after the agenda of 2030. So I think there will be a very special room for room for interpreters and translators in the future because the focus will be shed on ecological topics and especially in linguistics and translation and interpreting. So, in a nutshell, I believe technology, specialized careers, and interpreting translation industry as well, they are expected to thrive in 2025. Yes, we will thrive because actually a lot of people think that our industry will decline, but and we will be replaced. So the so-called note like translators and interpreters will be replaced by AI, but I don't think so. Even if this happened in certain corners of our industry, only translators and interpreters who do not use artificial intelligence will be replaced by artificial intelligence. So I think this is a fact. It's not, this is not the only test, actually. I I wish I have the opportunity to talk more about the careers of the future, not only in 2025, but throughout the 10 years. But I think more is coming according to further study and monitoring. If we got the opportunity to talk more about this, we can. Talk more about the opportunities of the future. Um, Getting hired in the future, in this year or in the futuristic 10 years, I think one cannot deny the fact that studying languages can be a daunting task. Yes, it's difficult. I'm a bilingual person. And I also sometimes consider myself as a polyglot because actually I speak Arabic, English, and some French. So it's a daunting task. Yes, it's difficult. It's difficult, especially if you are working as a translator. So you need to be pedantic in language, if I might say, and it also necessitates that you do a lot of work, a lot of hard work, and dire commitment. So it has also multiple advantages. So you're getting paid, you're getting work, you're getting opportunities, you travel, you go to certain places that not other people can go to. On the top of which is providing a wide array of job opportunities. Yes, we work a lot and we have a lot of job opportunities. Our industry is not declining. So this is a fact. It's not declining, it's thriving. But it's smart enough to know that the future is only for those who use technology wisely, in a wise way. So it's not easily it's easily accessed, but it's not easily optimized. You need to focus more on technology and using technology for your own interests. So the following list includes some examples of the jobs that linguists can have. Yes, we have certain jobs in the future that we also can focus on, like consultant. You can also work as a cultural consultant to provide guidance on language use and cultural practices to businesses or individuals expanding into new regions. Terminologist, yes, I love the job because when you compile, maintain, and standardize specialized vocab within specific fields. We're talking about legal, scientific, engineering. We are assigned to create terminology, glossaries, dictionaries. If you are writing, translating, doing research about words, so you can work as a terminologist. But actually, AI plays a very important role in this. Linguists. So the word linguist is somehow a word that this can be considered an umbrella term. We study languages scientifically, and we can work in academia, a university professor, for example, like me, technology, language preservation. You can work as a consultant as well. We research languages, grammar, systems, evolution, terminology, etymology, and we work in a lot of things. So I don't think this particular job will ever decline because languages will be there. Um, Also, international business professionals, yes, we work to seek after international trade, sales, customer service. And I do remember once upon a time I was asked by a certain company to provide a certain consultancy concerning international business. And it was very nice because actually I'm not into business, I'm not into commerce, trade, and so on. However, language helped me a lot to understand a lot of these terminologies and a lot of these concepts. So you can find yourself communicated with clients, partners, and suppliers in different languages in order to negotiate contracts, agreements, and so on. Another another vision into the future, content creation. We've not talking about this before, but actually I will focus more on using skills like writing, editing, translating content for a multilingual audience, like like the whole Middle East region, because actually a lot of people think that Middle East only speaks Arabic. Actually, yes, mainly it's Arabic, but actually we have different dialects and we have different accents. So dealing with the Middle East region or the North African region, yes, you can use your own content creation, and this is one of the most promising regions in content creation. You can also work as a coordinator of events, international events. Yes, this has been one of the most entertaining and rich jobs that I have ever worked. And as I mentioned in the beginning, that I'm already a coordinator of international relations and conferences with a certain sovereign um, apparatus here in Egypt. But my language skills helped me a lot in managing events and administering events, organizing international conferences, trade shows, cultural festivals, corporate summits, diplomatic gatherings. A lot of participants come from all over the world, and then they come from different cultures, backgrounds. They come from different linguistic backgrounds, and then you can coordinate between them. So it's only a linguist, it's only a true linguist that can do that. And finally, a cross-cultural event planner. Yes, event planning. Is that any important? Is that very relevant to our work as as linguists, as translators and interpreters? Yes. We actually act as cultural consultants, ambassadors to ensure that event content, communication, the pamphlets, the portfolios, the settings of certain places, the emails that are being sent and delivered to different institutions around the world, logistics as well, all culturally appropriate and sensitive to diverse audiences, because you have audiences from Africa, from America, from Asia, from Europe, so they are culturally different. Protocols, communication styles vary from different from one continent to another, and they vary greatly. Actually, to be honest, so they need a careful handling along with cultural festivals and international expos. Um, Let me finalize also with a certain very important topic like using Lexus because actually I made a survey recently on no less than 300 language professionals, translators, interpreters, and linguists in the MENA region in the Middle East and North Africa, and it was it concluded that language professionals still depend on using simple translation tools like talking about dictionaries and glossaries um, with a certain sorry for this, with a certain focus on using certain websites or search engines or applications or their phones, but they still don't find ChatGPT or other AI tools credible. I don't know why, but this is an index. This is an index that tells us that people still using ordinary translation engines and also glossaries, like holding a book, looking on a paper book and looking for the word. Yes, it's good. I know it's good. I know it's credible. I know it's accurate, but using AI is magical. I'm not defending AI, but actually it saves time and effort. So what do you want else um, after saving time and effort? So Actually, this reflects a gap between their own status quo, the status quo of translation and interpreting in 2025, and also the 21st century skills and potentials. If you would like to have a better future for your own translation and interpreting industry, you find a place, you find your own deserved and well-deserved place in the future. You need to change and shift such Lexis usage in your own industry. To conclude, in a nutshell. This has been only an attempt to explore and explain technology tailored ways and methods to practicing linguistics in general, translation and interpreting. I wanted to qualify certain linguists, certain ambitious linguists to find their own well-deserved places in the future. Because actually, if you are AI savvy, if you are tech savvy, this will attract service providers, this will attract LLMs and put them in the right path towards you, towards also the most recent job market requirements in the world, governed by technology, artificial intelligence, and it's a very competitive market. Um, this has been nice, and I hope you acquired some knowledge from this particular presentation. Thank you so much, Elevate. Thank you so much for everything that you gave to us throughout the last few years, and I hope you liked my presentation. Thank you so much again, and I hope I meet you in the very soon future. And bye bye.